What's good, y'all? Today, we're diving deep into something many of us face. You know, that intense balancing act of handling a full time job while still chasing those entrepreneurial dreams. I like to call it chasing a job in a dream, or the balance of chasing a job in a dream. All right, we'll figure out the title later. But let's get real for a sec. This isn't just a topic for me. This actually has been my life for the past decade. See, back in 2008, when I entered the job market, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, depending on what your age is, but that was during the Great Recession. And man, was those times crazy. I mean, here I am, freshly graduated from college with this brand new shiny degree, thinking I'm about to take over corporate America. Boy, was I wrong. I mean, I was able to land some jobs, but let's just say they were more like dead end jobs. They just weren't cutting it for me. So what I decided to do is take the leap into entrepreneurship. I wasn't going to face just being broke. We got to figure it out, right? And make it happen the best way we can. So what I ended up doing was I built a side business with with a few cousins of mine, and actually the businesses did well. They thrived for about 4.5 to 5 years, and we all did this while still balancing our day jobs, right? So, but the more that I look back on it, the more that I realized that this was something that us millennials actually knew very well, especially now in today's economic roller coaster. But hey, this side hustle thing isn't a new game. I mean, let's rewind back and look at history. See, the term side hustle has actually been around since the 1950s. As a matter of fact, they used to call it moonlighting. I always heard of that term, but for some reason I thought it meant something else. Anyway, fast forward to the digital age and boom, the concept explodes. Over a third of American and about half of them being millennials are hustling on the side. Just think about that. But let's keep it 100. Balancing a job and a dream is no easy feat. I mean, y'all probably already knew that. But you need some numbers? Check it out. See, Gallup survey tells us that about only 13% of employees aren't fully engaged with their day jobs. That's crazy. I mean, but that makes sense if you think about it. I mean, we're now dealing with stagnant wages. I mean, job security. So it only makes sense why somebody will have one foot in and one foot out. Another stat that you want to check out is about most people that have side hustles, they put in an average about 15 to 20 hours weekly just to build their passion projects. Another stat that's crazy, amongst those people that have side hustles, only about 25% of those hustles actually ever evolve into a full-time business. So when you think about it, is it challenging? Yeah. Is it rewarding? Absolutely. Speaking of side hustles, let's talk about some that have some real potential to go big. But wait a minute, almost forgot. Now, before we jump into these exciting side hustles, let's go over something that's real important. It's crucial to lay a solid foundation for any business that you're passionate about. What you need to do first is dive into research, develop the necessary skills and understanding, and also understand that some ideas, though are good, they actually might not be the right fit for you. So have that wherewithal before diving into anything, because you never want to be disappointed. Although disappointment is going to come within the process. But y'all get what I'm talking about. Let's move on. So here's another key piece of advice that I also want to share with you before anything else, because this is actually very focused. Before focusing on any idea, I will strongly encourage you to focus on building a solid personal brand. Here's why. Your personal brand will be your foundation. Yeah, your foundation. And it's actually your guide in this ever-changing business world. It grows with you, it evolves, and even when business fluctuate and trends tend to shift, actually your personal brand will remain your steadfast asset. It'll be like your cornerstone or your compass. Especially in today's fast-paced society and the environment, like I said, is forever shifting. It often becomes your leveraging point to whatever your dream or your side hustle is that you're working towards. Now that we have that very important key piece of advice out the way and put in your back pocket, let's dive into some side hustles. Now, top 5 side hustles with full potential. Let's start off with the first one is e-commerce. Well, actually, e-commerce and drop shipping. I don't know if you guys ever heard of them before, but just to kind of give you a description, it's like having an online shop where you sell stuff. But the cool part is you don't need a warehouse full of goods to do it. You just take orders, your suppliers ship them directly. I mean, picture yourself running a little online selling store that sells eco-friendly kitchenware, right? This is just for example. But you actually never have to touch a single plate, napkin, knife, or anything like that. You just place the order and sell it. I know I'm simplifying it, guys, so don't come after me. I'm just giving you some examples. If this is something that sparks your attention, look into it more deep because it is harder than what it sounds. But just go check it out for yourself. Let's move on to the next one. All right. So the next one is actually digital marketing services. And now this is all about helping businesses shine online, similar to what we do at H.U.E.X.M. So what you can do anything from getting them to the top of the Google search, um, click funnel services or funnel services, helping them manage their Instagram or social media, things like that, and even helping them just manage their brand online or anything that has to do with helping them grow their digital assets. Once again, you want to know more, look deeper into it, or you can actually hit me direct and I can go further in depth depending on what it is that you're trying to work on or that you're trying to accomplish. But all in a nutshell, think of yourself as being a digital wizard that takes on a local bakery and it makes it the talk of the town by just being online. Then there's app development. If you're tech savvy, then this one will be a gold mine for you. I mean, you can build an app that's almost for anything nowadays. I mean, imagine creating an app that helps people manage their daily tasks or a game that gets everyone hooked. The possibilities are endless. Look into that as well. Next, you have online courses and coaching. This is huge right now. A lot of people are doing this in all industries, from training to teaching to consulting. So if you got a skill or some knowledge that others would love to learn, well, package that up into an online course and offer coaching sessions. Say you're a whiz at photography or something like that. I mean, you can be teaching folks how to take stunning shots right from their phones. I mean, or you're teaching people on how to build things similar to what we're doing right now. I mean, I'm doing some YouTube videos. I'm pretty new at it, as you can see. But as you get good and become professionals, you can actually teach this skill set to people and make tons of money and live a fulfilling, life. Lastly, subscription-based services. It's like having customers who keep coming back for more. Man, that sounds like a drug. Definitely sounds like a drug. Anyway, I mean, you can send them anything on a regular, like a box of handpicked books for your book club or even workout routines. I mean, at the end of the day, you want to send them something on the regular that's going to get them hooked so that they can keep coming back. Yeah, I'm definitely making this thing sound like a drug. Maybe that's what it is. All right, let's talk about the high stakes game. High investment ventures. Now, this is where you'll put a lot of cash up front. It's like opening your own coffee shop or starting a clothing line. The key, you got to be sure that it's worth the investment. I mean, think big and plan carefully. Back what I was telling you beforehand, when it's coming to doing your own research and making sure you're understanding the task at hand, that's one of those ideas. Like I said, big, what they call it, big gamble, but it also can have a big reward. But just make sure, like I said, you do your work, do your due diligence before, engaging in those type of endeavors. Then there's fast-paced markets. Now, these are the market roller coasters of the business world. I mean, one day you're up, the next day you're down. Think of things like crypto trading, fashion, tech gadgets, stuff like that. It's things that's always changing with the ebbs and flows, right? These are the type of hustles that you gotta always stay on your toes and be ready to adapt. Once again, just like the other one, do your homework, do your research, have patience. And finally, time investment services. This is when you're putting a ton of hours into each client. Things like being a wedding planner or interior decorator, right? Or something like I don't know. I'm trying to think of something nuance or niche. Oh, say if you customize people's furniture, uh, it's costly. Like I said, you got to come up with the material, and it's timely because it takes a ton of time to do it, and it's kind of hard to recorrect. Correct. Imagine messing up somebody's. What do you call that when you carve wood out of something? I mean, you only get that one piece, so you better measure twice and cut once. So those things are pretty risky, but most people won't engage into to those type of ventures unless they were well versed into that skill set. But you never know, especially on online. A lot of professionals make things look very, very easy because they're professional. They make it look real shiny, and they talk about where they are now from a success standpoint, and a lot of people engage in it without doing their homework, research, and just getting good at it, and then they get mad and had a sore face because it didn't really work out for them. So, but you get it. All right, now here's my 2 cents. It's not just about splitting time, it's more about merging your passion into your daily grind. Kind of rhyme, right? I'll play with y'all. I mean, it's an energy, right? It's the priority game. I mean, let's not get it twisted. Hustling is not as easy as social media sometimes make it seem. But you guys probably already know that. Y'all not new to this. All right, enough of me. Let's hear some real success stories. I got the chance to catch up with my guy, Devalle James, who actually mastered this job in a dream side hustle thing. Devalle actually managed to have a demanding job and build which started off as a side hustle, but now is an actual very successful business that he's running.
Okay. What led me to start my side business was being laid off from the city of Compton when we had our first layoff. My first layoff, I was like, oh, wow, I don't know what I'm going to do. I didn't have a clue. I had the education and everything else. But I said, you know what? I want more concrete future for myself because layoffs do happen. So I said, you know what? Let me look into it. So I started looking into logistics. I started looking into the food industry. I started looking into the little internet businesses such as, Amazon, different things that go on. Started doing things like that. And so into the conclusion, I said, I want a recession-proof business. So I ended up I said, you know what? Let me try logistics.
And it seems like that's the common theme. Like most people, especially like in our generation, we started off with the career route thinking that was the safety net, but the rug gets pulled up under us and like, all right, well, we got to survive. But our plan B ends up becoming plan A because we realize we're more in control of it and how lucrative it can be for us in the future. So that's interesting that you had a similar, start just like everybody else.
So finding good help is one of the biggest things and obstacles I had to face. Because I'm gonna be honest, I've probably went through over 300 different careers since I've been in business. Gotcha. Just a same door. That's the biggest obstacle.
Now, how was your challenges with juggling? Because eventually your job called you back and you went back because your job has amazing benefits. You know what I mean? And we need to, so he's like, we're going to take them back. Mm-hmm. So how hard was it now balancing both of those? Because you still got to show up and produce, but then you still got to run your business. How were you able to manage all of that?
So what it was, during this all COVID, I had strong infrastructure, which management. What I did was I hired a general manager of my company. Then I hired district managers. So the district managers, all in each one of my 6 warehouses, I have a district manager inside of the warehouse. Plus I have field managers. So I ended up getting a strong infrastructure because I knew sooner or later I was going to go back to work. So I said, hey, I'm sure my infrastructure is set. And when it was the time that they said, hey, we need you guys to come back to work. And right now it's easy. That's all I do every morning. I have a Zoom meeting, drivers, talk about the previous day performances and things I see. Hey, and we go from there. Strong infrastructure.
That's dope. So the way that you're running your job now, it's a lot of your company now, you do a lot of delegating. In the beginning, did you set it up that way, or was it a lot of hands on deck and you kind of had to,
No, it wasn't. When I first started, I was leaving work, leaving on my lunch break to go to the warehouse work and go deliver packages, go back to work. Hey, look, we go do. I got a 15-minute break. Let's go deliver some more packages. So, hey, I had the will and deal, you know.
Yeah. Man, the hustle's real, ain't it?
The hustle's real. And then believe me, I had different things I had to do for my job because I'm a supervisor. Correct. So a lot of times I'll be like, hey, let me set this up this way so I can go to the field a little bit, go check it out. So just basically willing and dealing because I wasn't able to afford to have an infrastructure I have now.
Got you. And how do you attest this? Because like I said, we just said in the beginning, this road wasn't as smooth as we're saying it right now. So how were you able to adjust with the ups and downs and just, so there were some failures, of course, throughout this process. How were you able to adjust and pivot with those?
Tons of meditation and walks.
I thought I was the only one.
Tons of meditation and walks and just thinking like, this too shall pass. That's what I always say. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. I always try to keep that in mind. This only a little hurdle where I got to go. Hey, everyone goes through them. I'm not no different from anyone else.
Got you. I love it. And it's safe to say you are a successful entrepreneur. So what do you feel is the most crucial piece of advice that you can give someone starting their side business and while working a full-time job?
Go with your dreams. Don't ever let what you may assume or may think or, oh, I can't, just go with your dream. Because one thing you got to always think about a regular job is, God forbid anything happens to you, bad. The only thing they're going to do is, hey, bye-bye. We about to put your job up on the job bulletin the next week. So one thing you got to do is think about yourself. Think about yourself. Think about you, yourself, and your future. And just forget what the naysayers say. A lot of people, when I first started, when I said I'm going to have people deliver packages out of their cars, they said no one's going to do that. And guess what? There are people delivering packages out of their cars.
Exactly.
So just follow your dreams, man, and just go for it. I mean, you won't know what you have until you try it. Hey, we win some, we lose some. That's life.
Exactly. What risks did you take, and how did you overcome taking those risks? How did you process taking those risks?
What risk I took was, hey, I'm gonna eat Jack in the Box 2 for 99-cent tacos, and I'm gonna put my all into this investment. Nice. So what I did was, hey, you got to sacrifice in order to gain something. And so I sacrificed eating 5-star meals, buying Jordans, doing different things that I like to do, different hobbies for my ultimate dream. That was being a positive and super entrepreneur. That's what it came from. That was my sacrifice. You got to sacrifice something to get something. That's just life.
That's it. That is it. And my last question for you, looking back, is there anything that you could have done or would have done differently throughout this journey?
Nothing, because I believe the journey shaped me into the man I am right now. The hard times, the good times, the difficult times, even the losses, even the gains, it molded me into the man I am today. So I don't regret anything.
Man, I appreciate you for that, man. For those, this is Devalle James, and you got to experience his journey at balancing a job and a dream as an entrepreneur. This is one that has successfully done it from start to finish, and is still in the journey because he has more that he wants to gain and achieve. But right there is a blueprint example of someone that actually has done it and is still doing it. So we appreciate you for that.
Man, my boy dropped some incredible insight, right? Big shout out to Mr. Devalle James for that. Based off of that conversation, here's some key takeaways that I was able to gather from our chat. Takeaway number 1 was seek recession-proof opportunities. I mean, that's a gem, right? Because a lot of times, especially now, as I was mentioning earlier, things are very fast-paced and they're moving fast. And so something that may seem like a gold mine or a great opportunity is only a trend just based off of what's going on in today's time. So really taking the time to figure out like, okay, what does society need? That's not going to change no matter what's going on. I mean, that's recession proof. I mean, he's in logistics, right? I mean, that makes sense. Like no matter what's going on in the world, things need to move around, right? It's almost like selling toilet paper, right? You're going to need that. Water, salt, all of those things. So that was smart. Next, what did he say? Build a strong network. I mean, that's everybody understands that, right? Having not only a strong team, but having your network in place, because you're going to need to be able to leverage your network for credibility, for insight, for resources, all of those things. And once again, you got to be strategic when building your network. You want to be able to build a network within the network. You want to be able to build a network within the industry that you're trying to penetrate and get into. All right. Number 3, prepare for long hours. As I mentioned before, what was the statistics? 15 to 20 hours a week just on a side hustle. That's a lot. So that's going to take a lot of sacrifice, right? If you want it, it's worth it. All right. If you don't, I mean, shoot, you can be like everybody else and just watch from the sideline. But I got a strong feeling that the people that I'm talking to are willing to put in the work to get their yield their desired results. All right. Now we're on number 4. Use every spare moment. Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah, use every spare moment for your side project. I mean, that's just like putting in the time. So there's no more free time. Your free time is your side hustle time. As Devalle explained it, it made sense. What did he say? During his lunch break, he was dropping off stuff. I mean, shoot. So he was eating and driving and dropping things off. People probably got their packages with pizza stains all in it. It's crazy. Hey, but you got to do what you got to do. Number 5, he say, stay motivated and continue to be with like-minded people. Once again, it kind of goes and plays into the networking thing, right? If you're in the right network, these people are going to keep you driven. They're going to keep you motivated, but most importantly, they're going to hold you accountable. So you always want to stay around that and those type of people. 6, we're at prioritize building your business infrastructure. That should have been number 1, because if I'm not mistaken, that's what Devalle did first, right? He built the infrastructure. He mapped it out as far as how the business was going to go. And I think that's one of the key reasons why he was successful, is because once he built the infrastructure, once he was at the position to step away from the business and the day-to-day to it, the next person was able to come in and take over. It's almost like having the McDonald's method, right? If you build your process and your systems, it doesn't matter who's in it. As long as they understand how it works, it should, the business should function. As a matter of fact, a wise man once told me, once you really build a solid infrastructure with the process and systems, those are the business that are equitable for people to sell, that people are willing to buy. They don't buy great ideas; they buy processes and systems. That's just a little gem that I'll give y'all. Anywho, where we're at? We're at number 7. All right, learn from the pros. Yes. There's people that's been doing what we've been trying to do way longer than us, and they forgot more mistakes than we're going to ever make. So you want to learn from their success, and you want to be able to learn from their failures as well. We're at 8, the art of sacrifice. I mean, shit is self-explanatory, man. You're gonna get whatever you put into it. Number 9, embrace the journey. That's also self-explanatory. A lot of times we focus on the destination, right? We paint the picture of what it looks like to be on top of the mountain instead of painting the picture of what each step is going to look like, right? In the moment that we're going to be in. And I'm guilty at this as well. I'm always so driven and thinking far ahead that I don't pay attention or even appreciate the level that I'm on, because I got a strong feeling that this process and this journey is the thing that I'm going to talk about once I hit that mountain, whatever that mountain, the top of that mountain is. Because I also hear from successful people, once you get the top of one mountain, you're looking at the next bigger mountain to climb on. So you might as well appreciate the journey at the end of the day. So what's the big picture here? It's more than just balancing. It's almost like aligning your passion with your responsibilities. You got to balance both of them. I mean, look at Devalle's story. It's a perfect example of turning your dreams into reality through strategy and patience. Now, if you're navigating this job and the dream journey and you need some guidance, come check us out. You can find us at HUEXM.com. That's www.HUEXM.com. On our platform, you'll check out our free ebook. It's called The Great 8. What it does is it gives you tips on turning your ideas into a solid brand that'll help your business thrive. Also, share your own balancing act stories and tips with us in the comments section. And if you dug this video, well, you already know what time it is. Hit the like button, subscribe, and most importantly, share it with others. We want to get this message. We want to get this message across to anybody that needs it. But that's my time, y'all. Make sure you stay balanced. Make sure you stay driven and let those dreams take flight. Until next time, stay positive, stay productive, and stay in the present. But most importantly, remember, know thyself, brand thyself. I'm Coach J-Bo with H.U.E.X.M, and I'll holla at you. Peace out, y'all.